The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of either Spectrum Generations or Time Warner Cable. Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
Hello, welcome to Mature Lifestyles. Spectrum Generations is so pleased to bring you ideas and programs to help you live, laugh, and learn. Their motto, as we talk to you about fun things to do, and it is winter, and you think you could sit by the fire and read a book. Well, that's fun too, but we're going to take it outside, and we have some people who know how to do that. And first, I'm just so pleased that you're here. Seriously, we have Jocelyn and we have Andy, and I want you to tell us a little bit about yourselves first. I know you work for the Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry, and the Division of Parks and Lands, but more importantly, tell me a little bit about you, Jocelyn. How did you get into such a great job, and why?
Well, I've always been an outdoor person, and as a little girl, I was constantly outside playing, climbing trees, running around with the family dog, and I knew I wanted a career that was outside. And I started my career in forestry and natural resources. And just enjoy giving that love of nature and the love of the outdoors, instilling it in other people and new generations coming up, and it's contagious. And it's a great way to be active year-round. I mean, I enjoy gyms and going to the gym, but the outdoors, the great outdoors is my gym, and it's also my inspiration.
And it doesn't matter if it's winter and very cold?
Right.
You like that too?
I like that too, and we'll talk a little bit later about the gear you can have to keep yourself warm so you're ready for the season.
Before we do that, Andy, how about you?
Well, like Jocelyn, I grew up just loving the outdoors, spending a lot of time outdoors. I had 4 brothers, and whenever we got a little too rambunctious, my parents would say,
outside.
Take it outside, yes, and that's what we did. We'd be there all day, just enjoying the outdoors.
And it didn't matter about the weather. Winter is just as much fun as summer for you,
That's right, yeah. There's opportunities year-round to enjoy the outdoors.
Maine is extraordinary, and you both are in positions that you can help people enjoy this. And first of all, I know there's a good deal for seniors with Maine State Parks. Which one of you wants to tell about that?
Yes, I can do that. With for seniors, for Maine resident seniors, anyone 65 and above, there's free admission, and you don't need a pass anymore. You just let us know. I can't tell you how wonderful
that is to drive into the state park and they wave and say hi. I used to think, how do they know how old I am? But now I think this is great. I don't pay.
Yes, it's a wonderful opportunity. We want to.
It is a wonderful opportunity, and that you don't need a piece of paper. You're not fishing through your wallet. And is there something for veterans also?
Yes, there is. So veterans, Maine veterans, once again, can apply for a pass as well, and that's a lifetime pass as well.
It's a lifetime pass as well. So you want people to enjoy those state parks. Now, what state park, where are you located?
So I'm based out of Wolf's Neck Woods State Park in Freeport, and I'm kind of
So Freeport's not just for shopping, but
it
has a fabulous state park right on the ocean, right?
Yeah, just 5 miles from downtown, but it's a world away.
What can you do there?
You can go just for a walk, you know, and most days the trails get used quite heavily, so you can just go out for a walk on most days once it's been trampled down a little bit.
Right.
If you do need
what else can you do if you're
going
to go walking?
Snowshoes, you know, after a good storm, it's nice to have some snowshoes.
And you can walk in state parks, all of them, I assume. They're trails that you can use snowshoes?
Yes, all of them are open to use year-round. Some of them have the gates open year-round and actually plow them and groom the trails for cross-country skiing.
Now, do you need lessons for not cross-country, this is snowshoeing. So can just anybody snap those on and manage?
Yeah.
You know, it's not hard, is it?
It isn't really hard, and at our Winter Family Fun Days, we bring an event trailer, and we provide snowshoes and skis, and people can test out the equipment. So if they have it, they can bring their own if they've purchased, but if they're a first-time recreationist and they're thinking, wow, you know, I'd really like to check this out, but I
Sure.
don't want to invest in this for the entire family.
Exactly.
They can try it, and we'll have staff
And
on
you did
hand.
mention, you and I were talking earlier about snowshoeing. For balance, you also have poles for walking. Is that a good
Right.
thing too in the winter? Slippery.
Oh, it's a great thing, whether you're snowshoeing or cross-country skiing or just winter walking, even if you're
walking,
just
yeah.
out there
Winter walking.
walking. And I recommend that year-round for even active seniors. And sometimes I'll take
Exactly.
a pole for myself too, because balance is really, really important, and it's nice to have that.
So state parks have ample trail systems for these wonderful snowshoes for walking around. And,
Yes, they do.
And if you don't want to do that, you can just walk around your yard or the back 40. They're just always, you don't have to
Yeah.
have a lift or anything. They're just wonderful. And they're not
Yes.
too expensive, are they, in terms of
No.
winter equipment? What else do you do at your state park? And then others we'll talk about as well.
Yeah, so at Wolf's Neck, we're kind of unique in that we offer year-round nature walks as well. Yeah, so we do
Are
them.
they guided so people can talk about the
They
birds
are.
and the plants? And
They
That's
are,
right.
yes. We have guided tours. In fact, we do one on winter birds, we do one on mammals, and just winter survival.
People might not think, they might think something active like cross country or snowshoeing or skiing or whatever, but bird watching could be a winter sport. Do you do that as well?
It can be, yeah. There's birds
Just
in the
getting
wintertime.
outside is just wonderful.
Yeah, it is. And we see birds in the wintertime that we don't see in the summertime, which is kind of neat.
How
So-
about winter, what else? Winter boating, kayaking, do you do that? Sea kayaking? Or is that too
Well,
cold? I
that's-
know you're hardy.
Yeah, you've got to be pretty hardy to do that. That's more of a
All
summer,
right.
but
That's
you know,
more
but the
professional.
parks are open
Parks
year-round.
are open if
know,
you
and
are
that's,
hardy
you
enough
know,
to do that.
yeah,
You don't recommend it unless you have a wetsuit.
Yeah, that's right. You
Or a
definitely,
dry suit.
Or
you
a dry
definitely want to be very good at it and have a dry suit to do that, I'd say.
Okay, and tell us some things that you've got a trail map here. You want to talk about that, or?
Yeah, I have a trail map, and then I'll show you the Winter Family Fun Days flyer. But
Okay.
if you want to go to the Down East area, this is the Down East Sunrise Trail, and on our website, www.parksandlands.com, on the home page, you can download these 3-section maps. They're roughly 28 or 29 miles worth of maps, and they show both on-trail and off-trail amenities, and it lets you know the various activities you can do. And the Down East Sunrise Trail is a wonderful trail. It's very level. It's wide enough for ATVs and snowmobiles.
Oh.
Horseback riders can go on it, walkers, bicyclists.
Wow.
So it's a year-round wonderful trail, and it goes through great communities throughout the Down East region, so you can learn about the history of the trains. You can make stops at some of our public lands like Donnell Pond. When that's frozen over, that's great. You know, take your ice skates. You could go ice skating. There's the blueberry barrens and fields. There's old schoolhouses and libraries. There's great bridges. There's, in the summer, there's fishing holes. So this is a real year-round trail of a wonderful way to explore Down East Maine.
That's wonderful. Is
and
that
be
a new
launching
trail or
point.
relatively new in terms of the full trail, or?
Well, it's been in existence for several years, and it's a cooperative trail. The Department of Transportation
I see.
and the
You all
Department
work
of
together to
Agriculture,
make this
Conservation,
happen.
Forestry, yeah, and then the Sunrise Trail Coalition is very active in helping us manage it.
What
and
is
get
interesting
activities
too, not
going.
only can you hike, but it says you could use your ATV or you could use a snowmobile as
Right.
well. So it's an all-purpose kind of trail for
Right.
people to use outdoors in the winter as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, and it's a great corridor for people to get from community to community. It's sort of a traditional
Where does
way
it
for people
start?
to get
It starts
around.
and ends.
It starts in Washington Junction,
Uh-huh.
and it goes 85 miles all the way to Ayers Junction, and then they're actually expanding it westward from Washington Junction. And then from Ayers Junction, there's a spur that heads south. But people can get the maps online, but it's
People
roughly 85
really
miles.
have changed and appreciate so much these hiking trails, don't they, all around the state? And this sounds like a wonderful addition to that opportunity field.
It really is.
And you were going to talk about something else too.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about our Winter Family Fun Days, and these are fun for not only the whole family, but also for senior citizens as well. And what we really encourage senior citizens to do is, you know, they get in for free, but they might consider
Mm-hmm.
having a New Year's resolution where they buy a Maine State Parks pass for their family. So for
That's a good family family
sons or
gift,
daughters,
isn't
their
it?
grandchildren. And it's great if you buy that gift for your grandchildren and then they treat the rest of the family into the park, and it's year-round and it's a great way. But in January we have the Lake St. George State Park Youth Ice Fishing Derby on the 12th of January. Cobscook Bay State Park will have an event on the 26th.
What will they be doing there?
And they have cross-country skiing, sliding, snowshoeing, ice skating, tote rides, which is when you're towed behind a snowmobile.
Oh my!
And then nature walks. There's a warming station. There's dog sled rides, snow permitting, of course. And then at Mount Blue State Park in February, that's one of my favorite places of all to go ice skating. Up on Center Hill area. They have an ice skating rink next to the ranger station, and they have a warming hut. And they, last year they had a longhouse, a replica longhouse made of birch bark, but this year they're going to have a yurt, and they just put it in. It's a brand new yurt. And so it's really wonderful to ice skate up there, and there's a beautiful panoramic view of the mountains.
Beautiful view.
And then there's sledding further down where they tote ride you up to the top of Center Hill, and then you rip-roar down, and it's quite a ride. It's a lot of fun.
And it's really a family fun day, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's LED activities, and we have displays about winter camping, and then again that event trailer that has the snowshoes and the cross-country
And is
skis.
it at all of these events, the event trailer? Is it?
The event trailer tries to get around to all of these
To help you with equipment
events.
or with questions or anything that you might want.
Where we have the cross-country skiing, so that would be Cobscook Bay State Park, Mount Blue, and Aroostook State Parks. And the ice fishing derbies is more really generated, the activity itself is more really geared towards the fishing itself. And those are fun if they have fishermen in the family and they want to make a group activity regarding that. So.
Well, I think you've just given a whole new meaning to what you can do outside in the winter in Maine. People have always been hardy here, haven't they? I mean, you can't just sit inside all day. You want to get out.
That's right.
So
the winters
much
are
better.
long, and there's a lot
And
to
you've
do.
created beautiful places for people to go and fun things for people to do.
Yeah.
What else have you got for your nature programs, it looks like?
Yeah, so I'm going to be at, Jocelyn and I will be at a lot of these winter family fun
so
days
people can look
doing
for the
nature
two
walks
of you and they
there.
know you're fun.
That's
I'll have my
right.
skates on.
And we'll have lots of things to demonstrate to different displays and games for the kids to learn about nature, and then guided nature walks to take them out on the trails to show them.
Tell me an example of the kind of game you might do to teach people about outdoors with the kids.
Yeah, so Jocelyn runs
Let's have
the...
a minute.
We have a winter tracking, and so I set up, we do track prints and we do spray bottles with snow to spray tracks onto the snow, and then we have jumping games for kids where we have pictures of the animals and then how far that animal can leap, and then the child can practice seeing if they can leap as far as a rabbit or a deer, and then see the track that they make. So there's all sorts of really fun things.
I can see why you said it's a great gift for your grandchildren to give them one of these parks passes so that they can come and participate in all these things year round.
Year round, and like Andy in the winter, his programs are weekly at 2 o'clock, but during the high season of the summer, it's every day at 2 o'clock. They could come to his park and get a program.
We do.
And you have all ages, would it be fair to say?
It's open to all ages, yes, and we do them, they're open to the public every Sunday during the winter, and then we go every weekend at 2 o'clock in the spring and fall, and then daily during the summer from about Memorial Day through Labor Day.
Well, that sounds so exciting. And is that your, I'm going to have to stop for just a moment. I'm so excited about the winter activities, but we will be right back. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back with more about taking it outdoors.
Yes, he's still on his feet. He's in. Throws it up. Yes! And the buzzer! Saved by Leonard. Rebound back in front.
The Maine Sprinkle Association 2012 champion.
It's the sports category on TWC TV On Demand. Topics that complement your lifestyle. The sports category on TWC TV On Demand. Check it out on Channel 950 or Channel 1.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy. Live well. Get answers. Get connected. Spectrum Generations, specializing in the art of aging.
Life should be celebrated. It's a special day when family and friends gather together to celebrate the life of a loved one. A celebration of life helps us honor our loved one and keep our memories alive. Whether you're planning a traditional funeral, a creative celebration of life, or a blend of both, at Knowlton Hewins Roberts, we are truly committed to meet the personal and unique needs of you and your family. Knowlton Hewins Roberts. Visit us online or visit our 2 locations in Augusta and Winthrop.
Welcome back to Mature Lifestyles. We are having a wonderful time visiting state parks on a virtual tour, and with Jocelyn and with Andy, and they brought a book which I think everyone should get a copy of. I want one myself. It's called Maine State Parks Passport. Now, we talked earlier, seniors get in free, so they don't really need a passport, but there are so many state parks in Maine that are beautiful, and they're almost walking distance of your home. So tell us about that, both of you. Why is that? How can we get to them all?
Well, this guide gives you a great overview, and there's 48 state parks in Maine. And when you open this up, you'll find that it gives you a legend of the list of activities that you can do at the park. So then when you get to the park pages, you get a brief synopsis, a little bit of history about the park, a picture. You have an overview map of where it's located and the activities that you can do. And also with that, you'll see that there's an area where you can record your memories, and also you can get a stamp. And this during the summer.
So where do you get this passport?
At the park. So it's
At
during
the
the summer season, and they're good year after year.
Okay, I think I'm going to put that on my bucket list to go to every state park in Maine.
And it's a wonderful guide and listing, and then alphabetically in the back you can search for it, the parks you want to visit, and it fits very conveniently in the glove compartment of your car, so you should never be without it.
One more thing about winter activities in the park. You can do sometimes things that you can't do in the summer. For example, dogs can go walking some places, so you'll have to tell us about that. Can you take your dogs on the beach in some of the state parks in the winter or not?
Yes, so in the winter
Educate
you can.
us.
That's right. So, you know, during
That's a perk for the winter season.
That's right. During the summer, the beaches are very busy, so they're not allowed on most beaches in the summertime. But in the wintertime, they are open to for dog walking. And some of the parks are
Obviously,
open.
you have to be good citizens and clean up after yourself.
You still have to clean up after them.
And I will add, and I'm not sure many of our viewers care, but I've witnessed my family riding horses at Popham State Park this past season.
Yeah.
And things that you can do in the winter that you don't get to do in the busy summer season. So there are lots of opportunities, aren't there?
That's right, yeah.
So in the winter, you talked about clothing. It is awfully important that you dress appropriately. You want to tell us about what you recommend?
I recommend layers, and I tell people to remember the 4 W's, and the 4 W's, and really there's the 5th, so remember in winter you want the 4 W's. And it's having a layer that wicks moisture away from your body, so sometimes people use silk or polypropylene, and that's the first layer that you put next to your body. And then you want a warmth layer over that, so maybe a wool or some of our new microfibers that you can put on. And then you want to be prepared for the water and the wind. And so you want a shell that is water repellent and also wind repellent. And the same thing goes with your gloves. A lot of people like to wear gloves, and gloves are great, but remember that they keep your fingers separate. So a lot of times what I do is I'll put on some fingerless gloves, and then you put the fingerless gloves inside a mitten, because that holds your hands together. And it's really important as seniors and as we age to really pay attention to our body and make sure that we're staying warm enough, and then dressing in layers. But then here we've got some warmth going on, and we've got some nice layers. But if it's windy and cold out there, you also want a shell, a weather shell for your hands, so you can have these over mitts that you put on as well. So that'll help keep the water out.
You can stay out
and
comfortably for a long time.
Yeah, you can stay out comfortably for a long time. And I like to go beach walking in the winter, and you really have to be prepared. And the reason to go out on the beach in the winter is because Mother Nature washes all the snow away in that intertidal area.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
And it's just beautiful, but you do need to be prepared for that added wind, because there's always wind on the beach. And that wind chill can make you feel much colder than you normally would if there's no wind whatsoever. So you really want to be prepared with your various layers.
And you didn't mention your hat, but you had everything in.
Oh, that's right. I had everything in my hat. And you do.
It's such a pretty hat. You need to show us that.
Probably covering your head is the most important thing you can do,
That's a
because
great
you
hat.
lose most of your heat. And this is a wool hat. I'm really a proponent of wool.
Yes.
And I like the flaps. If your ears get too hot, you can pull it up, whatever you'd like to do. And sometimes we go out and we want to shed layers. And so make sure you've got ample pockets to put your mittens and hats in, but then get them back on. And the key is not to sweat, because if you start sweating, you're going to get cold.
Okay.
And I like layers that you can either unzip or unbutton. If you're going to be really doing an activity like outdoor running or cross-country skiing, you'd consider a layer that maybe had what they call pit zips. So under your armpits they would zip out so you could aerate your arms, not sweat so much. And if you start to sweat when you're outside, you need to shed a layer, and you need to shed till you stop sweating, because any cold air contact with your moist skin, you'll have evapotranspiration, you'll have evaporative cooling, and you'll start to cool off, and you really don't want that to happen. And another important thing is to check the weather before you go, and you might consider having a little weather radio. And these, mine is just a NOAA weather radio, and I can turn it on and listen to the tides, what's going to happen out there if I'm going towards the beach, when high tide and low tide is. And then if I have it on, it'll send me a weather alert. So if a snowstorm is coming in, and I can be prepared. So in the winter especially, all seasons you should check the weather, but in the winter especially be prepared for changing conditions and know what you're going to do.
Well, that is very, very helpful. Now, I know there are opportunities to volunteer with you, so if we love what you're talking about, how can we help? And you don't even have to have all those clothing. You said there might be some indoor opportunities as well to help.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah, so if you'd like to volunteer in the parks, we can always use your help with quite a variety of things too. You could be a campground host at one of our camping parks. That's something you could apply for. Or you could help out with one of our special events. There's always a great need for that. Yeah, because it takes a lot to run these family fun days with hundreds of people there.
Well, that's good.
So just call an individual park you're interested.
So if you love being outside, you would have a little extra time, you could use the help.
That's right. And with trail work, helping...
Whatever your passion might be.
Yeah, whatever your passion might be in the outdoors. We have a need.
And what about indoors? Maybe I don't want to go out today.
Indoors, there's I'm looking for seniors to share their memories and experiences on Maine State Parks with us, and I would love for them to send me their copies of their photos. They can scan them, send them in, and say, you know, I visited Mount Blue this year with my family, and their stories. I'd love to hear more about their histories and what their families have done and their adventures on our parks, because we don't want to lose that history. So they can do that.
So there are opportunities both inside and outside. We've talked about beach walking. We've talked about snowshoeing. There's one thing that's important to people who don't do all these things, and those are your little crampons. And they're not called that, are they? You want to walk to the mailbox, and the ice has gotten you a little bit afraid of falling.
That's right.
What's that?
Well, quite often, you know, our trails can get a little icy, right? And just walking around at your home, too. And these are wonderful because you just strap them onto your boots, and they give you some nice protection on the ice. And
they're not very expensive, are they? It
very
just
inexpensive.
Keeps you stable outside when you're a little bit afraid of slipping on that ice.
That's right. I wear them
a
lot. Yeah, whenever the trails are not conducive to snowshoes, I wear these. And
what's your favorite sport outside? Yours, Andy?
I think mine is snowshoeing right now. Yeah, just because you can do it anywhere. Like you said, you don't need to be on the special trail.
We're going to see you both on the trails, we hope. We're going to get that passport and join you at Maine Outdoors State Parks. Thank you so much for joining us, but stay tuned. I have a very special person who's going to talk to us about home care options. We'll be right back.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy. Live well. Get answers. Get connected. Spectrum Generations, specializing in the art of aging.
Excuse me. Begging your indulgence, sir. I'm a wealthy foreign dignitary, and I would like your help moving a vast sum of money into this country. I will let you keep most of it, but I would like to have some of it back, too. Please take this certified cashier's check as a portion of the transaction. Get lost.
Scams like these don't work as well in person. That's why most of them are done online.
Welcome back to Mature Lifestyles. We have a very special guest now, Kristen Overton, who's the manager of Bridges, which is a division of Spectrum Generations, and she knows a lot about home care options, and she's going to share that with us, Kristen.
Thank you, Libby. One of the things that I think that a lot of people don't consider as part of regular home care is transportation and kind of excursion type visits.
Right.
We have a lot of seniors who have lost their ability to drive for safety reasons or financial reasons, or they may even be in a nursing facility, and they feel that loss of independence really strongly. And one thing that home care can do that a lot of people don't think about is being able to take them out on visits to,
right,
whether it be a regular weekly visit to their favorite restaurant. We have several veterans that we take to the Red Barn every week.
It's their favorite.
It is, it's their favorite.
You don't dictate where they go,
no,
you just say, where do you want to go?
Exactly. We have people, it makes them happier in their nursing homes, because otherwise we've had people who've even tried to leave the nursing home, and it's caused them to be able to be happier staying there because they know that they can leave.
They can leave.
Right. We have people.
That sense of independence is always important to us, isn't it?
It really, really is.
And somehow we equate that with a car.
Right.
But you're saying, okay, you can't drive right now, but Bridges Home Care can help you get to where you want to go safely.
Exactly, exactly. Whether it's that, or we have another person who every year on her birthday we take her to Old Orchard Beach to walk around.
Oh my goodness, there are no limits.
There's no limits. It's really whatever the person, what makes them happy, whether it's a drive to see the fall foliage, or trip to their favorite park, or their favorite restaurant to go shopping, all those sorts of things.
So it's not just errands to go shopping, it's all kinds of things. Birthday trips, fall foliage tours.
Family weddings, all of those
things.
Yeah.
And so, just to briefly, as we are ending up this segment, home health care options includes transportation, but what else, just very briefly?
Other home care options include assistance with bathing and personal care, like dressing, toileting, or it might include meal preparations, housekeeping, aspects that help keep people home when they just need a little extra help.
It's absolutely wonderful, and if people want to get in touch with you, they can call Spectrum Generations.
Absolutely.
And is there a waiting list, or you can help people usually pretty soon?
We can usually help people within a couple days of calling.
And it sounds like you really love your work because you're making people pretty happy with that
Yes.
independence. And do you find that most of your group really want to stay at home just as long as they can?
Oh, absolutely. One of the most common things they say is they're taking me out in a box.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your news about home health care options at Bridges. Thank you for joining us on Mature Lifestyle.
Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
When you tune in to Strictly Sports, you know what to expect. Nothing but sports. You won't see this or this. Yeah, not even if it was accepted at the Olympics. It's Strictly Sports on TWC TV, Mondays at 7 o'clock. Nope, not gonna happen. Tune in, call in, talk to Mike, but remember, sports talk only. It's Strictly Sports, only on TWC TV. Do you like cars, technology, fashion, food, sports? This and more is at your fingertips on TWC TV On Demand. Browse the categories and maybe discover something new. TWC TV On Demand. It's all here.
You're watching TWC TV, only on Time Warner Cable.